in the words of Rob Thomas, it's another hot one. We're 7 inches from the midday sun. That's the worst intro to any of my videos ever. The bar just keeps getting lower. Just like the other 4-rotor project, you guys have been asking, where is the C8 4-rotor project? And of course, I'm its worst enemy. One simple little tack weld, one little bolt, and I set myself back 265 days, several months, almost 9 months. It's like having a baby come to full term. There's been babies made and had in the time that I've messed up the C8. So this is a collection of 3-4 videos that were all going to be released along that time, but I didn't want to give you guys ups and downs knowing it was going to be months between the updates. Now that all the other cars in the shop are running, it is finally time to take on the big ones. Both 4-rotors are coming back in the biggest way. We have all of the safety pieces for the C8 Vet. This is hopefully dashboard airbag, steering wheel airbag, seatbelts that tension and explode and keep you safe in an accident. Those are all of the broken parts on the C8 interior. I got the correct color. I don't know if there are other colors for the C8, but when you put your VIN into certain websites, it actually only gives you your color option. Thank God for modern technology. So we're gonna go ahead and unbox these and get the interior finished. You know who you are, but thank you for giving me access to GM's employee portal, because airbags are no joke. I do not want to trigger this thing wrong, so there's an actual process to installing them, and we're going to be following that to the T. I'm going to guess this is the steering wheel. Yeah, okay, this looks like a lot of work. Oh,
that's pretty.
That is very pretty. Guys, that's what an airbag looks like. So that's the trigger. So I'm gonna guess 12 volts to that, and we party. For being a safety piece, it looks really good. This is probably the most careful I've ever been with a car part. That's the actual like parachute. Interesting. So that's the airbag.
I think once the dash is compromised, it's compromised.
Shit. Well, that sucks. This one's nice. Not so nice. Like GM genuine part holographics. Okay. Thankfully the part that I cut off, I was afraid I got a little too aggressive. So the belt, nice and straightforward. That part's the easy part. Oh, okay, there's the connector. And then the last one's gonna be a rinse and repeat. Sure enough. I'm really easygoing about a lot of shade tree mechanic stuff except for airbags, especially when it says SIR disabling. You want to do that first. Thankfully, in this case, the steering wheel one is very simple. You can see the 2 little red things. Pull those out, pull them back in. Disconnect the battery, wait 2 minutes. That's the whole process. The seat belts are actually pretty straightforward as well. This is the part I was more concerned about, is the body panels. You know, you start pulling and then they break off and you realize there's an easier way to do it. But there's the little unit. There's the bolt on it. Put it back together. So far, so good. This one kind of sucks. There's the airbag for the passenger side. I don't have whatever was covering it. That piece. Nice if I had that piece. I can replace the part. Oh man, it looks like you have to take the whole dash apart. I want to make sure that airbags are usable, so you know, cut it. Stuff it in there and just push it down and see, let's see what. Oh yeah, you can see the line. Let me just put super glue in that line. There's a chance that at least we can make that part presentable. Let me see how much that costs. Now that we know we need number 1 again. Oh, it's only $500. Shit. Damn, you are good. Because it says use a flat piece of plastic to remove. This is why I needed your help. There we go. That's actually really soft plastic and I didn't damage it. Other side. Okay, that's a really useful tool. So essentially, we're just unbolting and bolting in these 2 10 mil things. Oh yeah, we do have to plug these in as well. I love these seats too. They're so like perfectly race comfortable too. I drove the one that had the GT1 seats or the normal seats, and those were nice. But these are a step up. I'll be honest, I thought this one was going to be way more complicated. I thought the passenger one would be way easier than it is. And you already knew. Like the whole dash comes out. No, they wouldn't do that to you. There we go. Second bolt was out. You know what this is like? This is like Indiana Jones, where he's
Is it Temple Doom?
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna.
Oh, I don't have
A bag of sand. Yeah. Okay. Not much bad can happen with this one.
Unless you break the connector.
Unless I break the oh, that would suck. Such a beautiful car, even when it's in pieces. Thanks to Omaze, you can potentially win a rare 2021 Corvette Stingray, as well as the ultimate VIP experience at Indy 500. The car that you would potentially win is a lot like this one here, except that it has all of the parts. It's a Z51 with the 3LT package, which is basically the most optioned out version of the Corvette. It's all the luxury and all of the performance you could ask for from a car like this. It's basically an exotic. The seats alone are one of my favorite parts of the car. Just sexy. Win the ultimate VIP experience at the 2022 Indy 500 for you and a friend. Ride in the 500 Festival Parade, attend the VIP pre-race party, tour the pits and garages, take a pre-race lap, and watch the 500 from the VIP suite. To wrap it all up, you get to score a hot lap with Indy 500 experience the day after the race. The 500 Festival Foundation generates funds in support of the 500 Festival's mission to produce life-enriching events and programs, fostering a positive impact on the city of Indianapolis and state of Indiana. Your generosity can help the foundation in advancement of the 500's Festival youth programs and initiatives to provide access to underserved communities. To potentially win a 2021 Corvette Stingray and have a VIP experience at the Indy 500 and support a great cause with the 500 Festival, go to omaze.com/RobDahm. There we go. There we go. Okay. So that bought us just a little bit more room. Oh, look at it. It's all melted. It's heated up.
Yeah, that's
wild.
Wow. If the connectors are compromised, then.
Oh, that would suck.
Jeez, man. There we go.
Okay. So the ground looking wires out. These are so gross. And then the purple part. Yeah. I'm gonna take a look at the product list, see how much that costs. The guys from MacMulkin have me here. Body. Let's look up airbag. There's the piece right there. Harness. Okay, it's 45 bucks. Okay. Very well. You got me there, GM. Jason just popped out a piece that kind of reflects the image that we were just looking at. This thing has more harness. The heating parts down here, button controls are over here, so it's whatever, 60 bucks to replace this harness. It's an airbag. I don't want to take chances, especially when it's melted. If the connectors and everything were fine, but this was broke, that'd be different. I wouldn't feel uncomfortable splicing the wire in, but the actual connectors just melted. I'm not gonna compromise this thing that's gonna blow up in my face. So I'll go ahead and get that ordered. I don't want to do it, but I know it's right. Oh, oh, yeah. Yeah, those are just so trashed. I had to look, because I assume they're gonna use the same parts here, and yes, they have this same setup, but this one has its own little dongle already. Go ahead and work on the seat belts now. Okay, so I'm gonna remove that whole piece right there, but then it tells you what you need to remove to do that and how to remove those. Cool and cool. It's easier than we think, and it's also harder. We'll probably have to power it up to move the seats forward. The actual thing for just the seatbelt is just, hey, unbolt the bottom part of the seatbelt and then remove this panel, unbolt the seatbelt. Like, oh, yeah. Nice. How do you unbolt this panel? Oh, you just pull it out. Oh, but to pull it out, you have to get these two done. To get those two done, and rabbit hole. I'm gonna go ahead and power it in, and we'll move the seats forward. Dash, guess how much? Just this piece, and that's 600 and something. There we are. Whatever. I love the Targa top. This piece first, which allows us to get to this suede thing, and then this top part actually should just pop down as well. There. You see, you have so much more self-control than me. There. Okay, so it does say obviously there's electrical components.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Wow.
There you go. Holy shit.
All of this for a seatbelt. Wow. The GoPro heats you up extra, and it's already 100 degrees in here. Let's examine the patient. Jason just pointed out that this is the passenger side one with this extra connector. I wonder what the passenger side one has this extra sensor for.
Child weight something? I don't know.
Yeah, okay, so that's off. There we go. I think the major bolt is behind it. Yep. We just need that one bolt off, and we're gonna have the arms of an angel holding us once again. There we go. Yeah. time to cut this belt. Free at last. So I popped this side off. And this should just simply pop off. Well, kinda. Like a, oh yeah, oh that's cool, that's smart. Hooks in, up, and then locks in. Oh, it was right in the funny bone. It is not so funny. So before the Corvette hurt me, I'm trying to help you. Be nice. This is my little marionette piece. Get this little purple wild connector in. I always felt like when you had to wrench on a bolt without being able to see it, that you were really connecting with your car. And as I've gotten older, I realize that's not the truth. It's just inconvenient. But I still feel like I'm like, okay, yeah, she needs this right there. I can't see what I'm doing at all. But you know what you're doing to your own car. That took forever to screw in, but we now have my little accordion. We'll thread it through here. So there. Oh. Okay. Pop that back in. Right there. This goes in. Lock in the lock. We'll put this one back in all the way. Okay. Yep. We have a good seat belt. Plug it into the seat. Go down. Hook in. There, locked in. There. Yeah, there we go. The first major victory. I'll say minor, but still. The passenger is now safe. Same thing, opposite side. There's only one connector. I wanted this moment of payoff. Get into the C8 Vet. Ah, nice and comfortable seat. Take my seatbelt. There we go. That's awesome. One more step back to luxury. I'm pretty sure nobody likes seeing this Corvette being repaired. Even the shipping company couldn't get this done in time. It's been, what, I would say roughly a month of waiting for this piece to show up since the last part of this video. And this wasn't something that GM wouldn't sell us. This is literally something I ordered and then just took a month to ship. Ooh, not a bad way to spend $1,000. Probably did even better on the stitching. As everybody rips on the stitching of the C8. Mine's perfect, but the issue is the airbag exploded, did its job, and so I lost that stitching. Between fixing both the steering wheel airbag and the little guy saying hi up there, we now can finish the interior of this car. We also have the wiring harness for the driver's side. This goes in the steering wheel, and it's these two yellow and Barney color connectors that go inside of the steering wheel. So this is the replacement piece, a little bit of a plug and play, and then we can actually plug in the airbag that's sitting down there.
Cool, broke loose.
We've been trying to gently take this thing off from different angles to get to this entire harness. Not happening. So we're just going to try and take the entire steering wheel off. I'm sure there are better and easier ways to do this. Yeah, we're going to have to get the impact. That blue Loctite. Check this out. This is the back side of the steering wheel, and I already had taken these off, and we might have had to, because look at these down here. So we'll go ahead and undo this one. I don't know if you're pulling off a tab or ripping apart a screw. Both of those off. Thank you. There we go. Much less fighting. This is a lot of work just to replace this wiring harness. So it just popped off that little zip tie there. Oh, we had to take these off. Wow. So we're gonna pop this little safety clip. That I never want to get into an accident with this car. Not the bodywork, not the paint, the steering wheel. We now have this, another safety clip. Kind of like the safety clips, but then that also makes me think of what it's going to be like in 30 years when you go to take this car apart. There, I'm going to take a picture with my phone because we have to recreate this. Being that this is not my area of expertise, of course C8 Vets, I'm going to undo a piece and then redo it with my new harness. Every single one of these has safety connectors. What a pain in the ass. There, pop that in, pop a clip in. Let's see, this went around this way, and again, I wouldn't have remembered that. Those all go to the middle, that's the airbag parts. We'll begin replacing this. This is please don't break off while I'm in the middle of a high-speed run liquid. So I'm gonna go ahead and saute the bolt. If you wanna know how I put this back together, literally play the last part of the video in reverse. We have the steering wheel with a nice little indicator as to where center is. Go ahead and put this in. There. Boom. Finally do this step. Horn goes in. I'll never use that because I'm a little bitch in traffic. Hey Andrew, can you unplug the battery? I don't want to learn if this thing activates as soon as you plug it in. Boom. Okay. We got the horn. Those things are on. Oh, this is just like Indiana Jones. Now we have a horn as well. 2 10 mils, and then the 2 covers that hide it all in, and we're all done. Okay, the guys did it. These 2 knuckleheads make the weirdest, best like comedy duo, and they completely replaced the whole passenger side airbag that was part of the dash, that's part of this wild raised up situation. But they're afraid to see the battery plug back in and potentially ignite the airbag. So to show them that I trust in their work, I'm gonna go ahead and sit in the passenger seat and let Christian plug in the battery.
All right, Rob, I love you. You're alive!
Yes. We have a complete interior. Wow, those guys wanted to see me annihilated. Take a look at this interior. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's an exotic car. We're gonna put the last pieces in back there, but we've got both explosive seat belts fixed. We've got both the airbag inside the steering wheel and the airbag in the dash all replaced. The interior is done. Aha, so we have seat belts solid. Now it comes down to the airbags, which we have both installed. The proper way to reset the airbag system or any of the systems on this car is to unplug it for 20 minutes. That's the official GM way to do it, so we will follow directions. So my buddy Dave gave me this special socket right here, and it's actually exactly meant for these right here. I'm gonna go ahead and take that front bar off, just beat it into place after that, bolt it back up. I just got in both the radiators and this bar right here. So I'm gonna take this car out to a shop to fix the 2 of those, but why not get it lined up, get it squared up, and get everything else figured out, so that way it is as quick as possible for that shop to swap and replace. These bolts are the weirdest looking bolts I've ever seen. They're like self-tapping missiles. Look at that. Isn't that weird? It's definitely aluminum, so you don't have to get too crazy. With all those bolts out now, she still is not really moving. So what I'm going to do is just kind of tap it, see if it'll loosen up. All the glue's not connected. Okay, what I'm going to do is split these 2 right here, this top piece and this piece down here, so that way this whole section is separate from that. I'm glad I caught that on camera. That was all that took. So this is now separate. And that would be a bad thing if I didn't have another one. That's it. You are free to be free. That nice little wedge going on in here. Oh yeah. Last little bit of glue. There we go. We are almost completely free. Now with that off, this is no longer connected. There's nothing connected to this piece. I'm gonna go ahead and try and remove it. Just kidding, I'm gonna remove more of those. All of these. It's time for this piece to come off. I just want everything bad gutted out of the car before I drop it off at the Carney at the Carn repair station. And so I got some preload put on there so that way it doesn't close back up while I hacksaw that part right there. It's time to cut right there, bring this piece off. I can play with it, but that's not the point. The point is I just want the bad stuff off, and hopefully cutting more of it, doing it by myself, will reduce the overall cost. Doing it with this so that way it doesn't kick up as much dust as like anything else, and things can't go wrong very quickly. That's about as comfortable as I feel going down that way. We'll take the tension off. Thankfully, because this being not a soft version of aluminum, you just bend it a little bit and it just snaps off. So I decided I'd put the saw blade on backwards bend this down, put the blade on, and then come up like Swiss cheese or a cheese cutter or something, and it's got me this far. It is a workout. Oh, I should bend this. Okay, that breaks way easier than it cuts. I did it! I did it! This is the part that has to be cut off and folded in, fixed. Try to fold it in. Yeah, yes, there we are. And that's all it's gonna take. Put the new piece in, bond it with all this like basically epoxy, screw those back in, and that's all it's gonna take. I don't even care if I repeat myself. That is, I'm just excited, I'm sweating. I'm a very happy man. It is time to take the C8 to the body shop to get the front frame fixed. And instead of getting a U-Haul, for once in my life, I'm getting some help to take it there. I'm sending this off to North Hollywood to one of the 2 shops in Southern California. There's only 5 total that will do this sort of repair. It's not extreme, it's not crazy, it's just that you have to be certified by GM, or in this case Cadillac, to be able to do this repair. It simply involves buying the damn part and gluing it in. Very common process for Corvettes. They love to glue and screw. It's literally the process involved. I wish they would sell me the part. That's not the case. So this is probably gonna set me back a couple $1,000s for no reason, just for 2 parts that on their website are like $150 each. Whatever, that's what I bought into buying this car. So we're gonna go ahead and get it loaded up and take it over to the shop and see what they say. There's no front end to the car, but we have an ideal towing service for this exact situation. There we go.
Parked at a drain, maybe I should have done.
Well, we have no front bumper, so this
would be good.
that little bit of space is
I'll put
easy.
my race ramp on this side. Just a bit of a gap.
I should have used this for the Diablo every time.
Right.
There's nothing that can't get on this trailer. Looks so good. I gotta get up and catch up to him, and I'm using the Insight. And there's my baby. Made it. Let's see what's going on in here. She has made it to collision body specialist. I've been talking with Jim for the last 15 minutes, and I already love the guy. The guy knows what he's doing. So we're gonna go ahead and drop it down and wheel her off. Thankfully the car drives. That makes it so much easier. I definitely brought this car to the right shop, just like the guys with the C5 and their old school, cool years of experience. Jim and these guys seem awesome. They're willing to let me film everything, document it all. They've got light rooms, photo paint booths, Ferrari frame racks. They're getting the whole frame rack kit for the C8, so this is super exciting. Being the first fully crashed C8, it's a learning experience, at least for me. These guys clearly have the experience, and I get to tag along and watch what happens. So I'm gonna leave her here